Alright, hello, welcome to this video. I don't really expect anybody to watch this, but this is literally just me going through my catalogue of records for whatever reason, and this first video is going to be a longer one because I'm just going to go through my entire catalogue that I have thus far, and in the future I'll just be making short videos to say what I've managed to get whenever I manage to get them. So, as I say, this is literally just for me personally, but I don't know why anybody else would really care about somebody else's record collection, but I'm just gonna make it anyway. So anyway, I'm gonna start off with the smaller ones. I actually have one 10-inch record in here, which is Stereolab Jenny Underline. This was something I found in York, actually. Completely randomly. You don't really see, at least I don't really seem to find Stereolab stuff very often. It's obviously not a full LP, but I thought, hey, I don't know when I'm going to see this again. I mean, I'm not going to seek it out, but it seems like something pretty cool to have. Just 4 songs, and obviously Jenny on Dear Line, usually an 18-minute song, condensed to, I think, like 4 minutes, something like that. Can't speak for how, like, valid it is. I would have thought it was, like, real, clearly, when it plays. In fact, I wouldn't have thought this was issued more than once, but what the hell do I know? Very nice. This was about 50 quid. This is actually one of the most expensive things I own as far as my record collection. Not but when I bought it, I did check to see what they go for, and it seemed to be about this expensive on Discogs. So yeah, bit of an oddity. The only 10-inch I have in this collection, Jenny Underline. Obviously from Transient Noise Burst, Random Noise Burst with announcements or something like that. Who the hell knows? I don't know what any of their albums are called, really, with exception. Any of the long ones, anyway. All right, now I've got 7 inches. So the first one I've got, and actually this was the first one I ever got, is this. The Beatles, You Can't Do That. B-side, Can't Buy Me Love. A-side, or was it double A? I wouldn't have thought this was a double A side. So this is one from Matthew Street. I guess they still make these because, you know, the Beatles craze just never dies. And if you ever go to Liverpool, you'll definitely find that that's very true. But back then, this was a novelty. It was just like, oh, this is just something to collect. This is not exactly my favourite song by them, but it's cool. And I guess, you know, I could actually physically play this. I think it's just a genuine, I don't know if it's a repress or what, because we're just in the collector's shop, or maybe they just had these unsold. I don't know how many they made in the beginning, but that's Can't Buy Me Love. No cover or anything, and obviously no insert because it's just from 1964 or whatever. But yeah, that's that. Very cool. Next ones, I actually have 2 of these. 2 singles by The Creatures. So this one kind of an LP on to do it in this order. Wild Things, and the other one Right Now. This just has 2 songs on it, which is late, but this was the original EP by The Creatures. I actually never heard this until recently, but when I went into the Billingham record shop, the guy said he had stuff like this. It's actually a gatefold EP. That's pretty cool, right? So yeah, with all the lyrics inside. And obviously, a double EP in a way, a double single. I don't know what you'd call this. My lingo isn't perfect for this. I don't really have the lingo, but hey, you get two little mini records as well. I think this is a 5er. This is record 2. It's actually in the first slot. Probably shouldn't be. I'm gonna go ahead and change that. I'm not the biggest fan of Creature stuff, to be honest, but it's very nice to have. Especially considering it's a gatefold, which I don't know why. I'm fascinated with the fact that you've got such, you know, it's such a nice package for such a short piece of music. And then Right Now, just the one, this time just a single. I don't know what the B-side was. Weather Kid, but yeah. Right Now is probably my favourite song out of all of the songs on these 2, so that's fair. Yeah, that was basically at the very beginning. I got those 2, the beginning of when I started to actually buy albums. What the hell? There's a big staple in this as well. What's this all about? Get that out of there. I doubt this is a valuable staple. Right. Yeah, I got these two at the very beginning because I went in the record shop and said, oh, I really like Susie the Banshees. And he said, oh, I've got some Creatures stuff. So I just bought them. I didn't know anything about them. But, hell, they're not a bad thing to have in my collection. In my humble opinion, next one's a bit strange. Bought this online. This is Under the Running Board. But, like, I don't know if this was how it was released because when I open it, it's like this. Right? So I don't know if this is actually how it's supposed to be. If it is, fair enough, but if my mind says it isn't, and someone just like printed this and sent it to me, but maybe I'm wrong. In any case, presumably the record itself is the same. Under the Running Board, just a fantastic 3-song single or EP, whatever you want to call it. Mullet Burden is just an essential Dillinger song. So it's very nice to have. I think this was kind of cheap, which is why I bought it. I don't know if the cheapness was because it wasn't real or what, but hell, if it plays, I'm fine with that. But it does mean I have to keep this in like a plastic sleeve, pretty much. A bit strange. Well, I've got no other ones I have are like that, which makes me think, you know, what the hell is that? I guess not really this. This is just a random thing I picked up. The single Yeah 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 song with the B-side Why Does It End? Flaming Lips from At War with the Mystics era. Picture disc. It is a very cool like little record, really. I think the Yeah 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 song's really nice as well. I do like At War with the Mystics. I think it's underrated. But yeah, just a random single I picked up. Yeah, not anything that I would necessarily be really seeking out. So yeah, I think a lot of the singles are just stuff that I just bought on a whim, really. Whereas with the records, it's stuff I actually want to collect, you know. This is one example of something I wanted to collect. This is Furniture, barcode on it. Furniture by Fugazi. A bit weird because this is the front cover, I thought, and then the barcode's on it. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. 3 songs again. Discord ones are always a joy to have because they just give you cool stuff. I mean, you know, it's just a random picture. Who knows what it means? But there's lyrics on here. They're just a nice little insert you get. You know, they don't have to do this. Most of the time you don't get anything like that. But they do. The Discord ones are always awesome. And kind of a simple little record. Not my favourite for guys by any means, but I do want to get all of their stuff, and I nearly do. I just need some of the EPs, actually. Also, yeah, it comes out the top, you know, because this, I thought they normally come out the side, right? Stick it all back in. However, that's the only thing with records is I love having them, but I hate getting them out and putting them back in. That's got to be a common thing, right? All right, this is cool. Minor Threat, first EP they made. Obviously a 7-inch, but it's got like 8 songs on it, something like that. Discord number 3, really cool packaging. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but it's really chic. I think this is a reissue. Again, you give you a cool insert. So whatever this is, I think it's the lyric sheet folded up, but it's more than the lyrics. It just looks cool. It's all handwritten. Picture at the bottom. And then the record itself. Very tiny, but very hardcore, clearly. Not the biggest Minor Threat fan, to be honest. Not my favourite hardcore punk, but also, yeah, this one's at the top as well. Maybe what I'm saying is just nonsense. It's worth having, and I think I'd want to get the other EPs they made. You know, in my eyes, out of step. Don't have them. And yeah, continuing on the disc, I have a fair few Discord ones. We got All Through a Life, Right to Spring EP, there were only one. Really love this cover and the packaging as well. It's the same sort of material. I mean, I don't know what you call it, cardboard. I sound like an idiot, but I'm just ignorant. yeah, I really like the title track, and I think the cover is awesome. I think this is a really nice package. I would have bought this. I do actually like it, but I would have bought this anyway, just to have it. Again, the insert, lyrics, band pictures, and some of the smallest band pictures you ever saw there. Like, I can't barely make it out. Again, I think it might be a reissue. Really like this one. Wasn't that expensive, you know. That's the thing, the Discord stuff, as they wanted it, right? They're just never very expensive, and they're always really like some of the highest quality like packaging you can get. I really like getting the Discord stuff. The vinyl itself. Number 22. Obviously, I don't have Rites of Spring self-titled LP. I did find it in a record shop before. It was going for 80 quid though. I don't know why. I don't think it is that expensive. So, yeah, 2011 reissue. Definitely one of my favourite 7-inches that I've got. And then the last one I've got is single by Strawberry Switchblade with the umlauts. You can see there, Since Yesterday, with the B-side By the Sea, which actually I've never heard. Very big fan of the full-length self-titled LP they made. But I found this one in the Roxy Billingham, so I thought I would get it. Since Yesterday, great song. Can't speak for the B-side, never heard it, but just a very simple one. Single in a sleeve. And that's all of the 7-inches and the 1 10-inch I've got. So now we'll move on to the actual records, because this is sort of a side category. There are EPs that I want to collect, but most of the ones it's 12-inch vinyls. And in fact, not every 12-inch I have is even a full record. First, alphabetically, first one is Pet Sounds. I didn't get this too long ago. I think it's just, it's one you just ought to have, right? Some people don't like Pet Sounds for whatever reason, but I think it's really, really good. So, and it's not that expensive, there's so many of them. No insert or anything, it's just a record, but packaging itself is good. A lot of these I don't really have loads to say. I'll try and keep them all in the plastic sleeves. And this is definitely a reissue. I think this is from like the 2010s even. This was reissued. The one I've got. Right, continuing on the very popular artist theme, Sgt. Pepper's. So this was one I got as a gift from my dad a long time ago. This was the first vinyl I ever got, but like that was just back when it was literally just going to be a souvenir or a statue. I don't know what you call it. Literally a gift, not necessarily to be played, but now I would have an interest in playing it. So yeah, get forward with the picture. Whatever issue this is, certainly not the very first one, but very nice to have. I have no idea where he got it. I'm guessing he just saw Beatles and bought it, to be honest, because that was back when I was really young. I probably was like 17 when I got this. Good album, not my favourite Beatles, obviously, but, well, maybe that isn't obvious, but to me it's obvious. But still, very good to have in the collection. Actually, the only Beatles record I have. I have all the stuff on CD, that stereo box set they made, which is a very nice set of CDs too. I'm gonna make sure these are all in CD. Yeah, like regardless of condition, I'm putting these in sleeves too, just for consistency, because some of them aren't in great nick and they're just straight up secondhand. Next two are pretty cool. Found these in a record shop, if you can believe it. I don't know how believable that is, but I've got Automata 1 and 2. Found them both in the same shop next to each other in York. Not my favourite Between the Buried and Me. That's the case for a lot of my records, actually. Not necessarily my most sought after ones, but hell, I do want to get them all. So, both gatefold, both colour disc. This is really good. I think about 25 quid each, something like that. There you go. Lyrics, picture sleeve, and a red vinyl. Very nice, right? You can't argue with that, you know, even if you're not a big fan of the actual music on it. It's like the package is just really nice. Automata 2 is much of the same as you'd expect. I think there was only one pressing of each of these on vinyl. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that because I don't know anything. Automata 2. I think Automata 1's better than Automata 2, but I think that's an unpopular opinion. 4 songs on it. Again, gatefold. Just a picture on it, but that's sort of the point. And this one's a bit of a weird colour. I don't know what you'd call this. Nearly turquoise-ish. And interestingly, they call it side C and D. So, strictly speaking, what Automata is sort of like one double album, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Certainly didn't cost the price of one vinyl or one album. They're very cool to have. Not my, as I say, I don't often listen to Automata or even Between the Buried and Me that much in general now, but I just really like having them, and I will play them, you know. Next one, online purchase, which goes for quite a few of them. Atomizer. Some sort of reissue, I think, clearly, but that's chic, that's really sharp. Wow. Back cover. I think it has an insert, yeah. Not lyrics, just whatever it is, some sort of scripture. This Big Black wasn't on Discard. On Touch and Go Records, but I think I find a lot of the time this sort of the punk stuff it does have really good packaging. I don't know. It's like they actually cared about the person buying it. Simple sleeve and simple record, but damn, I'll be damned if that's not really sharp. I just love how colourful it is, you know. I'm a big fan of colour. I don't know why people like black and white so much. Yeah, and here we go. This one's a bit of a task to get back in. The sort of picture, you can just look at that all day. Like, look, it looks awesome. You can't really see that well, but it's such sheen on it. And yeah, pretty good record too. Big Black. I think I prefer Shellac to Big Black, to be honest. But this is a good album. Next two, I've got the Blonde Redhead, the numero vinyl releases. So this is apparently the only time they've been on vinyl. Blonde Redhead, self-titled debut, and La Mia Vita Violenta. Very nice. Prefer the first one, although I've only heard the second album once, to be honest. But this has some, you know, as I Don't Want You on it, which is very good song. Really like that. Numero always making really cool packages for their records. Here we are, picture sleeve. And colour vinyl too. In blue, was it Astro Boy Blue, I think they called it. And tell the side because it says 901A, 901B, otherwise. Potluck. I do like a coloured record too. I wouldn't necessarily buy a, what am I doing? I wouldn't necessarily pay more for a record because it was colour, but I think I might have with the numero stuff actually. Come think of it. Maybe I'm lying. Come on, you know you want to. I was worried about that because I'm like, is that going to damage the sleeve or what? But it's sticking out, you know, like why is it sticking out? There you go. La Mia Vita Violenta I know less about. I know I like it. For me, the best Blonde Redhead is the first one. So far, I haven't actually heard all this stuff, but I'm assuming I like it all. Cool, this is a better cover, I mean, let's be honest. Same deal, picture insert. And red vinyl. I don't remember what they called this one. But yeah, just simply put, very nice set for two. I think these came as a bundle. I think you could get them in an official like box set, but they also sold them as a bundle, which is what I got. I can't remember what the box set was called. It's called Masculine Feminine or something like that. But I don't know what the difference is. You probably get some more packaging for that. But yeah, I'm trying to suss out. Jewel Red. I think it might have been called Jewel Red. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking it was probably named after one of the songs on the album. I can't say that with confidence. Next up, Brand X. More rock and roll. Very, very, very good album. Got this in the Roxy. Very simple. The jazz ones generally aren't that interesting packaging wise, but hell, the music's always really good. This is on Charisma. Got a warning on the plastic bag. Here it is. Not much to see here, just a record, but hell, the music on it's really good. I think the last couple of songs, what is it? Malaga Bergen, Macrocosm. With extremely good jazz fusion. Brand X, really, really good. The first two albums. I can't speak for the rest, but I'm a big fan. Another one I'm a big fan of. This was online. Cat Power Moon Picks reissue, I'm certain. I really do like this album. Comes in a picture sleeve. Actually, it's a bit ripped. Damn. How did that happen? Doesn't really matter. But yeah, we've got a nice sharp looking record too. I just really love a lot of songs on this album. And I really did want to get it. Whatever, I thought it was a Specialist Subject I got this from. I got a fair few. I got a lot of Fugazi stuff from them too. Yeah, I could have spent like $1,000 on that website, but I didn't, luckily. Not yet, anyway. Moon Picks, very, very good. Actually, the only Cat Power album I've been that bothered about, to be honest. Okay. Next up, we've actually got two Cocteau Twins, so I'll get them both. I've got Head Over Heels and Heaven or Las Vegas, probably my favourite two. So, makes sense. Head Over Heels, we've got these both in the same record shop, one in Scarborough, don't know what it was called, next to a train station. They had more Cocteau Twins stuff than this, but I just picked these two up, you know. Do have a life to pay for too, unfortunately. I mean, the music itself is all you need for Cocteau Twins, in my opinion, but here it is. Picture sleeve. Standard black vinyl. Look at that. Actually, I'm not sure if I did get Heaven or Las Vegas in Scarborough. I don't think I did. I think I got Heaven or Las Vegas in Liverpool. So I'm telling a lie. Because I'm thinking that, yes, they did have loads of, like, pretty much most of the Cocteau Twin stuff. I only got Head Over Heels. This one I think I did get from Liverpool, a place called Dig Vinyl. It's the best Cocteau Twins, I mean, realistically. I really just can't get enough of this album. Another picture sleeve. I mean, this album is colour for me. It just sounds really colourful. It's a shame it's not on colour vinyl, but anyway. I just can't say any more about this. Love the album so much. Endlessly replayable. That A-side, one of the best A-sides ever. Maybe the. Next up, we've got another Discord. I got this from Land of Treason. Dag Nasty, Can I Say? Reissue, I think. As always, Discord, you get the insert with lyrics. Actually, only one-sided. Unusual. Or is it unusual? Maybe I'm making that up. In any case, it's on green vinyl, which is obviously really cool. Look at that. Very, very good album. One of the better hardcore punk albums I know. Or what do you call it? Melodic hardcore or emo core, if you want to be a muppet about it. I'm a big fan of it. This is another one that's sort of endlessly replayable for me. I love these sort of albums because it's not long. You could fit this on EP, you know? But to have the full vinyl, it's really cool. Next up, what is this? I can't tell from the back cover. Oh, it's a really, really damaged copy of Fresh Fruit for Raw and Vegetables. Actually, I've got 2 Dead Kennedys, so I'll get them both. Because I've also got Plastic Surgery Disasters. But this is the first one. Yeah, I think I know. This was from the Roxy. I noticed that it had, I think it had a sticker saying that maybe it didn't play well or something. So I'm not sure if this, I can actually listen to this. But hell. Definitely prefer Plastic Surgery Disasters to this. But hey, here we go. I wonder what sort of issue this is. I don't know if it's an original. I don't want to say original pressing, but it's probably from 1980 maybe. Seems that way. Good album. But yeah, look, we've got a few scratches here and there. Might not play too well. I think this was like a tenner. So, not bad for a Dead Kennedys record. From 1982. There was a comma in there. See, that's what I mean about sometimes I bought stuff that was just clearly secondhand. Because I'm not too bothered about the... I mean, it's very nice to get a really high quality like package, you know. But if they play, I'm happy enough with that to say that I have it. This one, the better of the 2 albums for me. One of the best albums ever made, to be honest. Another extremely fast. Fast? Well, yeah, it's fast and it's awesome A-side. This is a gatefold as well. I think I got this from Liverpool. Didn't get it online. I've seen quite a fair few of these pop up. I guess Dead Kennedy stuff is fairly sought after. I guess I have never heard Frankenchrist or Bedtime for Democracy. So the only other one I'll be looking for right now is In God We Trust, which again, I've seen copies of that. It's just a bit expensive for what it is. It's like 20 minutes, but I think it comes on 12-inch. Black sleeve, very nice. Well, I say it's very strong A side, but really it's the first 5 tracks. You know, I wouldn't say every song on the A side is amazing. You got Winnebago Warrior on there. I'm not a big fan, not a massive fan of that. I mean, I like the song, like every song on this album. But just all the way through, this is incredible. Maybe the best hardcore punk album. Could be. Wouldn't count Minutemen's hardcore. Very little wrong with this album. So very glad to have it, because this is one I would always get a lot of mileage out of. Some of them I have just for the sake of collecting almost, but some of them are just genuinely I would like to play them. So this is a cool one I found. This is a reissue of Faith Void. I've noticed that it's actually mirrored, so this looks a bit silly. I don't know if it's going to come across as mirrored on the video, but for me, it's mirrored right now. But this is the Faith Void split. Another one I found in Liverpool. I'd heard this, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but hey, it's a pretty cool thing to have. Reissue. I think this is a Discord that doesn't have an insert. Oh no, I'm lying, because it does have an insert. I was going to say, that's not like them. Very nice insert, in fact. This is the Faith and Void. Pretty much everyone says the Void side's a bit better, and that's probably true. Could do with listening to it again. Very much like having this in my collection, but it is a reissue. I think Discord pretty much reissued everything. I'm not sure which Discord albums have never been reissued. Probably like the really obscure ones, like Blue Tip or something. But I think Faith Void, I guess, has enough notoriety that they reissued it. Not very expensive, as per all Discord. And continuing on that theme, we've got one I got online actually, but here it is. Farrakhet, however you pronounce it. View from this tower. Very, very cool. Specialist subject one, I think. Funnily enough, when this shipped, they had the sleeve outside of the vinyl. The case. I don't really know why. Don't know if this has been reissued. It's all copyrighted 2000. I did actually catalogue all of these like issues correctly, but I can't remember. Again, just really good. The 1-2 punch opener. Some of the best, some of the cleanest math rock about. This stuff is just too good. I always really like the cover of this one too. You almost wish that this was actually like material, but hey. Of course, their only full-length LP. At least it wasn't a compilation. I know they made the anthology, but it was basically discography, you know, bought in one. All right, now we're up to the big boys. You just get them all. So I've got I think all of the Fugazi studio LPs. All of them are bought online. So first one's Repeater. I mean, a lot of them are just tied for my favourite, so I can't really say how much I prefer one over the other, but this is the best, like straightforward, like post-hardcore one. It's amazing, you know. So no insert, but you've got this nice sleeve here with all the lyrics on the back. And the good thing about Fugazi as well, all of the vinyls are colour vinyls too, so we've got this translucent blue for Repeater. But some of the songs on this, well, you got Turnover, Shut the Door, Merchandise. More than that, I just can't sing its praises enough, really. Next one, underrated in my opinion. A lot of people say it's the worst one, but I don't agree. Steady Diet. Really, really, really good album. I think the songs are really creative, you know, they've got some weird stuff going on. It is genuinely a development from Repeater, although that album is probably a bit better. This one, you know, it's not just by the numbers, it's very interesting. You know, looking here, you got the mental picture on the back, which is always cool. Lyrics here. So you got really good songs like Exit Only, Reclamation. Nearly every song. The only ones I would say probably not that awesome. I don't know, like Polish maybe. I was never the biggest fan of, but I just think every song on here is really good. And the vinyl this time, metallic, right? Can't argue that, and like, you know, like all of the Discord stuff, they're just not very expensive either. Granted, I don't think I ever saw a Fugazi record in a record shop, but they're not expensive online either. Next up, Kill Taker, In Under. Another really good one. I think probably I prefer the first two, but this also has some really amazing songs on it. Public Witness Program, naturally. Got Walking Syndrome. Last Chance. I mean, I don't feel too strongly about the songs on this album as the first two or some of the later ones, but it's obviously still really consistently great. So no inserts in the Fugazi ones, but they all come with these really cool sleeves. Always with some random picture on it, who knows what it means. Kill Taker, straight up clear vinyl. which is awesome. What can you say? That it's clear. Like, why does that make it better than black? I don't know, but it's just cool. They're all different as well. Fugazi, definitely one of my favourite bands anyway. But the fact that they're the actual physical copies are so cool as well is just a bonus. Red Medicine, definitely a contender for my favourite. More experimentation, you know. Some of the songs, like, what's there? You got Do You Like Me, Bed for the Scraping. What else is on there? Target, Long Distance Runner. And I, you know, I'm skipping over songs, but every song's really good. It's just they're the absolute standouts. Same deal. We've actually got pictures along the side and lyrics in the middle. This one, Red, obviously, as you'd expect. No track listing on the centre this time, but they've got 1 and 2. Could never get enough of Red Medicine. But the thing is with Red Medicine is that I think that was about as experimental as they needed to get for me. So the next one is my least favourite, but still a really good album. Like, when I say least favourite, it doesn't mean I don't like the album. It's just, it's not as good as the rest in my opinion, but End Hits. So actually one of maybe my favourite cover of theirs, but End Hits has a lot of stuff that I'm not, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's some stuff that I'm not too crazy about, you know, because you got like Floating Boy. Kicks off the B-side, Floating Boy. You know, weird stuff like, I guess, Caustic Acrostic, Recap Madoti. Like, it's good, but just not as memorable for me. But you got to commend it. It sounds different from the rest, as all of their albums do, which is what makes them so good. But naturally, extremely cool packaging. And I believe this one is the patented gold vinyl. How cool is that? If anything was going to make me a bigger fan of End Hits, it's probably having a gold vinyl of it. So yeah. This might be my favourite part of the collection, is these Fugazi records. It's so easy to get and not that expensive, you know. And I've got it's complete, with the exception of some of the EPs. So the EPs I don't have are self-titled Margin Walker and 3 songs. And I've got Furniture, and I guess I don't have Instrument either. I don't know if I had one instrument. I never heard it actually. Kind of ridiculous for such a big fan of the band. But anyway, yeah, they're the 3 that I'd want to be getting. Maybe 13 songs, but that's only on CD anyway. So the last one, Argument, The Argument. Another really cool cover. This is when it's just pure indie rock, almost. But hell, they could do that too, because this is an extremely good album. This one actually has an insert as well. Hope I didn't miss any of the inserts on the other ones. But yeah, we've got lyrics there. The nonsense pictures as usual, which I could never get enough of. I suppose the fact that it has an insert explains why the sleeve is white. Maybe this is just a different issue to the others. But here we are, it's in this nice patterned cyan or light blue vinyl. Just through and through, every single one of the records is awesome to own, you know? Even if you only half like them, you'd be hard pressed to just say no to such cool packages. That's all my Fugazi stuff. Nearly complete. I've seen all 3 of the EPs available, but I just haven't bought them. I guess these are priority. So that'll be complete at some point, I would have thought. Next up, we've got my Genesis collection, which, although I've got pretty much all of their stuff on CD, I do not have it all on vinyl. But I've got a fair few, and I'm chipping away at getting them all. So the first one I've got, and when I say I've got them all, I don't have From Genesis to Revelation or Calling All Stations on CD. But I've got all the others. So here we are. First one I got is Nursery Crime. This was a really cheap copy. I think it was a £5. So knackered. Bit like the Dead Kennedys one, you know, frayed to hell. If it plays well though, it's actually a gatefold too. So £5 gatefold again, but instead of it being Wild Things, it's Nursery Crime. Like, it still looks good. For £5, I don't think this is bad. Just hopefully the actual record plays well. You see even the sleeves done in. But the record itself looks pretty good. No. Nursery Crime's a really good album. This was the first one with Phil and Steve. So naturally it's a step up. Like, look, this is just barely even exists anymore. But I'll keep it, I guess. What have they got? They've got musical, but I mean, hell, some of the songs on Nursery Crime, they're absolute staples of prog rock. And so yeah, that's why I felt like I would say, explain why I've got this stuff in plastic sleeves, because a record like this, it's like, you don't really need to protect something that's already been so damaged. But, well, why not? I might have to put this back in its sleeve later, because... Is this the wrong bit? Am I being silly? Yeah, okay. I guess that shows how knackered it really is. Even the front bit is sort of opening, peeling open. Don't want that. But yeah, Nursery Crime. I've actually only got 2 Peter Gabriel ones on vinyl. But I've seen the others. And the Genesis ones seem really common, at least in the UK. So they're not that expensive either. I've got Lamb. This is actually the most recent vinyl I got from the Roxy. Another really kind of old one, but it's the first, you know, CGS 101. It's the first one. Gatefold, naturally. £25. Pretty good. It's got picture sleeves, lyrics. Obviously the stuff in the middle is all just the story, which I've never read. Really, really big fan of most of the very good Genesis records anyway. So this one definitely works more as an album though. I don't know if there are that many standout songs. But hell, when you listen to the whole thing. It's interesting. It just says, the supernatural anaesthetist. I thought it was called Here Comes the Supernatural Anaesthetist. What does it say on the back? Yeah, it says Here Comes the Supernatural Anaesthetist on the back. So yeah, another. I think nearly all of my Genesis ones are secondhand, just because they're cheap. And, you know, as I say, if they play well, that's fine by me. Wind and Wuthering. This one actually doesn't look too bad. Oh, yes it does. But Wind and Wuthering, this was their second one. With Phil on vocals. One for the Vine. Still one of, if not my favourite Genesis song. Lyrics, picture insert. I think I got all my Genesis stuff in the Roxy. I think I'm right in saying that. With the exception of the self-titled. Actually, I don't know if I've seen Trigger the Tail. That's a good point. Can't imagine that's much more uncommon. But I actually, Selling England, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen all of them. That's a lie. I've seen a lot of them. Yes, Selling England would be the motherlode. Then there were 3. Another £5 deal. This is a gatefold with lyrics inside. Not their best album, but I think it's still got some really good songs in it, like Lady Lies, Down and Out. Track listings only on here, I guess. What else is on here? Many Too Many. Obviously he's got Follow You, Follow Me On. Burning Rope. You know, but there's some stuff on here that isn't very good as well. Like Scenes from a Night's Dream, I think is pretty bad actually, but it's only one song on the record. Maybe some of the songs on here are underrated, to be honest. Lady Lies especially. What a great prog song that is. Sounds very different from the more romantic era with Steve Hackett, because this was their first album without him. But I still think this one holds a place for any Genesis fan. They've got some good songs on it. Weird album, I would agree. And then I've got Genesis self-titled. This is a gift. Back then I was like, that's really nice, but not my favourite Genesis, right? But I do like this album. And I would have wanted to collect this, so it's very nice. Because what we got Mama. Like, that's already a really good song. Home by the Sea. You got some weird stuff on the B-side. It's not that interesting. It's going to get better. I always thought it was underrated though. Cool sleeve. Pictures on the lyrics. No different from many other picture sleeves. I don't know why I'm singling this one out. But anyway, yeah. Very nice. Don't know where it came from. But a welcome addition to the collection, I will say. Next one is one I got in Scarborough. And it is actually the second copy of this, because I got a CD version of this for £2 before, just randomly in Stockton on like a record fair, which I couldn't believe. But not even a record fair, just a market, straight up CD market where you'd expect to find like Boz Scaggs and stuff like that. And there was one of these in there. But this is the vinyl edition of A Sharp. One of the best packages you get. It's not gatefold, but you get all of the gubbins inside. Like, you don't get a coin and stuff. It's just a really, really nice package. Not my favourite band by any means, and not my favourite album, but hard to argue with something like this. You just get so much stuff. Like, do you need stuff? Not really, but hell, when it's a record, more is better almost. You check there's nothing else in there. And you've got the most ominous looking record you ever saw. It's just black, you know. That's it. There's nothing on it. What's A? What's side A? What's side B? I guess you can tell by this here. You won't be able to see it. Yeah, this is the A, this is the B. I only tell by the grooves, or whatever you call it, the etchings. But this is a really cool record. Again, it's like not one that I would necessarily seek out to play that much, although I do like it, and it's my favourite Godspeed of the three that I found heard. But how can you argue with such a package? And you know, it's like embossed on the cover. Awesome. Actually not as new a reissue as I thought it was either, I don't think. It's from the mid-2000s. I thought it was like brand new almost. Next one's a bit of a weird one. Not the best thing in my collection, kind of random. Just a Hendrix, I think it's an EP, 12-inch EP almost. But you see the track listing there. Voodoo Child, Slight Return, otherwise known as Voodoo Child. Gypsy Eyes, Hey Joe, Third Stone from the Sun. So we got stuff from Electric Ladyland and a single, and Are You Experienced? Very weird. Nothing from Axis. Just a random thing I picked up. This is before I had a sort of target with my collection. This one doesn't even have a sleeve, so it's just as simple as that. I don't have any full Hendrix vinyls, which is a shame, because I'd want to get all of them, and that would encompass like 6 or 7. But it's something. Next up, I don't really want to take this out of its plastic sleeve, because in fact it's already bust on the top because it's such a thick mammoth. But we've got Unsolved. This is a gatefold. I'm definitely not going to take the like vinyls out, because this is the most difficult vinyls to take out I've ever had and put back in. But it's awesome, isn't it? I bought this online. I think I got it from Numero Group. What a fantastic package, and maybe you can see this sort of red splatter vinyl, they call it. I'm not going to take them out, but excellent album, excellent package, but good luck getting it in a plastic sleeve. I might be here for a minute. Come on, you know you want to. Yeah, it's like the thickness of a triple album almost. Right. Good thing these plastic sleeves aren't expensive. Just about. Only karate one I've got the full complete studio recordings on CD. Doesn't include Make It Fit because it was released before then. But I've not even heard that album, to be honest. Next one, King Crimson. Oh, the Crimson King. I don't know how many times this has been reissued, but pretty much essential. Gatefold. This is from the Roxy. Very simple. More about the music, but how the cover and the gatefold is really cool too. This is a great addition for anybody's record collection, in my opinion. Again, I'm being an idiot. I would want more King Crimson stuff on vinyl. In fact, I think I've only got this album by them on anything. I got this on CD too. It was one of the first CDs I ever bought. Finally got it on the record. Next one, another kind of random one, a Lush 12-inch. Not an album. It's a 3-song EP, I think. Sweetness and Light, Sunbathing and Breeze. Pretty cool colour. More from the Roxy again. It's one of those where it's just something random. It's like, yeah, I'll take that. Sweetness and Light, great song. I think maybe all 3 of these songs were on Gala, or Gala, however you pronounce it. Which is one that I'd be looking to get. Weird one with Lush, because I only heard the compilation. Usually I stick to studio albums, but Gale seems to be the essential for Lush. Can't speak of the EPs or studio albums. Next one of the first vinyl I got. I think this is the most expensive one. I got this as a birthday present. Double nickels. Obviously, right? My favourite album ever. Got the gatefold now. And the 2 different records, which again I'm not going to get out because they're a bit difficult to get back in. I don't know. I think this is like. I think there might be reissues that are cheaper, but this was like 90 quid. I think it was because this might be an actual SST record as opposed to. Well, I don't know if they reissued it on SST or whatever. But this one was more expensive for one reason or the other. But yeah, I think this was like the second vinyl I ever got. Back when I wasn't interested in even playing them and just having them. Would obviously love all the Minutemen stuff on record. And they are about, I just haven't bought any of this yet. Because this is by far really the best, you know. And it's stuff like, really, with the exception of that, all of their albums are pretty short. And you know, I could buy Joy, you know, 7-inch for 20 quid, but it's literally 3 minutes, you know. I suppose it's not really about that, it's more about getting the collection, but. Anywho, this is another one I got on my most recent visit to the Roxy. Hejira, only Joni Mitchell album I've actually heard. But it's so good. Bit of a weird one, because when I went to catalogue this, it said it was gatefold, but it just isn't. So I'm not sure what that's all about. In any case, I've got the insert instead. This is what you'd see in the gatefold, with all the lyrics. So I actually went to the Roxy yesterday with the intention of seeing maybe they have this there. And they did. Isn't that awesome? When you go in wanting to get a very specific one and you end up with it. It's Joni Mitchell, it's probably not that uncommon, but still. It's not like they had everything she ever made. So yeah. Very valuable. Awesome album. One of my most recent favourites. Next up, Another one that falls in a recent favourite category. We've got Gary Newman, Pleasure Principle. Just a really, really entertaining album. Chill album. Definitely recommend for anybody into that sort of minimal synth stuff. I don't know if you call it minimal synth, but it's just very simple. But it sounds so good. Never heard Replicas by Tube by Army, but I definitely want to after hearing this. Very cool album. I mean, there's not much I have to say for a lot of this. It's just, yeah, I like it. That's why I bought it. From the Roxy again. That's where I think most of my albums, a lot of them at least, are from. Next up, this is a very strange one. Got this from York. A place called Earworm Records. Peru Woo. Dub Housing. I think Modern Dance is a better album, maybe. Or maybe they're about the same. That's the thing with Peru Woo for me. It's like, I like the occasional song they do, but not all of them. So I think I didn't even have this one on my list to collect. But I saw it and it was like 20 quid. I was like, I don't know how rare Peru Woo stuff is, but I'm just going to get it anyway. Second hand, clearly. I don't know if this was ever repressed, like Peru Woo. Pretty independent band, I would have thought. But here it is, in its battered sleeve. Dub Housing, Modern Dance. I would be interested in getting too, I think. And I've seen that online. A lot of them you see online, but it's much cooler finding the sort of random stuff in a physical shop, you know? At the same time, it's like, if you want a specific record, you don't have to be diving through every record shop you ever find. It's just in my case that there's so many that I want to collect that I really do like looking for and genuinely getting at least one thing. The Police. So I've got all of the Police ones. I've got all 5 Police records, if you want to make that old joke. So, first one, Outlandos. None of these are expensive, all from the Roxy. And in fact, since I've been since, and they keep popping up the Police albums. I think there's just loads of them. But hell, they're all good. So I don't think there's anything super special about any of them, as far as packaging goes. Of course, the B-side of this, maybe you want to turn it off after the first 2 songs on the B-side, but hey. Maybe Masaka Tango is okay, whatever it's called. But those other 2 songs are not very good. Masoko Tanga. Not the best Police album. I mean, all the Police albums are pretty good. They're pretty consistent. Oh, they're consistently inconsistent, I find. Regatta de Blanc. All of these secondhand, you know. Joanne Price. Joanne Price, if for whatever reason you're watching this video that has 1 view, this is your record I've got. So, just the same sort of thing, black record, as you'd expect. I think all of these are, I don't like saying original press, but it's like, you know, it was from when they came out. Not reissues. Which I don't really, not that bothered about. I think that can go either way, whether it's more valuable or not. This was the last one I got, but again, all from the Roxy. Ghost in the Machine. In fact, this is in the wrong place, because it should be Zenyatta next. I don't know if I'd call it my least favourite, but I think there are a lot of disposable songs on this album, but there's also some really good songs. The first 3 songs are all really good. I think it's just after that it sort of just falls off a cliff, but hey. This one has a picture sleeve. So there you go. And then we get to Ghost in the Machine. Which again has really good songs on, but then it has some stuff that isn't very interesting. That's the case with pretty much every Police album. There's some really good stuff and some stuff that you wouldn't be bothered about hearing again, or even once. Stark back cover, just black. Another picture sleeve, which is very cool. Cool digits, you know. I do like the cover of this album. Again, a bit bad, but hey, this is the Police. There'll be loads of these floating around. Cool to have the full set, but it's hardly like, you know, they're that valuable. Last one, Synchronicity, probably their best one. What's the front cover? Which one's the front cover? This one's the front cover. So yeah, the one where he's on the phone. So, Synchronicity, I think it has 2 duds, like walking in your footsteps. I mean, Mother's kind of interesting at least, but that B-side is stacked. Shame it doesn't have Murder by Numbers, but obviously that's just a bonus track. Lyrics and picture. And the vinyl itself. Super. How could you say no to Synchronicity? Certainly their best album. The fewest skips, although I would never skip a song on an album. I just think, unfortunately, they do have a lot of songs that aren't worth listening to. Next one was a bargain, in my opinion. Refused, Shape of Punk to Come, £16 for double vinyl. Can you believe it? And it's in fantastic quality. This is on Epitaph Records. I don't know. Maybe they just go for cheap. But for me, like, it's a really good album too, you know? I don't know how common it is. Gatefold. This is just a really, really good thing to get for such a cheap price. Comes in black, chic black sleeves. I think I've only heard this album in full once. Right? But I know some of the songs off it. I've heard them quite a few times. Such as the opener. I know everyone bangs on about New Noise, but I don't think it's that different from the rest. And then obviously there's a second. Oh, there's an insert too, you know, it's like, damn. Did the discs just not work or something? So this isn't even lyrics necessarily. These are just like a story. And then more stuff, and then the lyrics here. But damn, just a lot. A very quality package for such a cheap price. This is our specialist subject. Not my like most sought after album, but I don't know how you could, if you were a fan of this album at all, I don't know how you could pass that up when you were a collector, you know? So, next one, you know, like this is probably the same price is what I'm talking about. And it's the special price series version of Where Have I Known You Before, Return It Forever. These jazz ones, like they're really good, but I think they just are a bit cheaper. I think no one really cares, but hell, great album. Shame about this, you know, that's not very appealing, but it's the same music, you know. This was in Liverpool. They look old, don't they, the jazz icons? But it's fantastic. Some of the songs on this. Well, you've got Vulcan Worlds, and then you've got whatever the last song's called. What the hell is the last song called? Spirit of the Valley Kings. Song to the Pharaoh Kings. Mad. Extremely good band. I want to get more of their stuff. Next up, we've got Rush. The only Rush vinyl I have, actually. Pharaoh to Kings. Not my favourite Rush album, but still very good album. This is from the Roxy. This is a gatefold. Lyrics, picture, and then picture sleeve. Good product. There's a fair few Rush albums I would want to get for sure. Most highest priority Feminine Ways. I think I have a fair few of theirs on CD. But yeah, Aftac. Next up, I've got 2 Santana albums. So first up, Abraxas. I think this was not a repress. You see, I see a lot of Santana. These both are from the Roxy. Abraxas wasn't that expensive. I see a lot of Santana stuff about. I guess they made a lot. I don't know how big Santana really was back in the day, but it must have been fairly big. Look at that. Newspaper sleeve. I don't know what this brown speckling is. I'd rather not know, but here's the album. Black Magic Woman, Gypsy Queen. Absolute highlight. The rest of the album's pretty good too. Big fan of Abraxas. Haven't heard it that much, but it's really good. And then the next one, Caravanserai. I see a lot of copies of this. I don't know why. I never really heard of this album until I started listening to Santana. But £5. Second-hand copy, gatefold vinyl. Feels old, but it feels textured. I don't know if that's the sound. And you got lyrics. Quote there. And then the record itself. Again, with the newspaper, called the inner sleeve, I suppose. It's just that sort of thing. And the vinyl itself. Caravanserai. Another album I've heard only once, but it's a good album. Instrumentally very spectacular album. You know, you can get this for $5 in like any record shop. It's kind of mad. Wouldn't have known. But then again, I've never seen like Santana debut. And I've got Santana 3 on CD. But I need that one too. After that, I don't know anything about them. So, next up, I've got some stuff that I am a very big fan of. So, this is my Susie collection, which is not that big. I want to obviously complete it. But these first 2, I found in some underground record like market thing in Scarborough. He said they'd just come in like the day before, so it was like divine intervention. Found both this and Kaleidoscope on vinyl. Old, not represses or anything. And it's about as simple as that. You got the sleeve and the record. But hell, these are ones I really wanted. And I still really want to get the rest. The Scream. I mean, I almost feel like I'm too biased to comment on how much I enjoy these albums now, because I just heard them so much. I'm obsessed with them. Kaleidoscope. Within their top 3 albums. Again, old. But I got both of these together for like £50, I think. This one has a picture sleeve and a very cool lyric spiral. Love it. Very dusty though. And with a clean. Okay, if I can find the actual sleeve entrance. Next one is a lot of people's favourites, not mine, but it's second best. Juju. This one is a reissue. So this was in Liverpool, in Dig Vinyl, £35. A lot of the Susie stuff is actually kind of expensive, just frustrating, but hey, for a copy of Juju this nice, can't really say no if it's one of your favourite albums. So this one has the full-on insert. So I believe that the vinyl's actually supposed to go in this, but it's like almost impossible, I found. But that's that. So it's almost like a double sleeve. I don't know when these were reissued. Black sleeve and the back record itself. Just really awesome. Obviously a fantastic album. one of the best things in my collection, probably. Just for how much I actually enjoy it, you know. But again, it's one of these that has like impossible sleeve re-entry. Right, and then the last studio album I have is Peep Show. Now I got this from the Roxy like last week. This was £40. But I think that was because this is, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like not a reissue, and the condition is really, really good, you know, considering it's from 1988. Like, damn, how glossy is that? Not my favourite Susie, actually, within my like bottom 3, I think, as far as albums go, but hell, this is really nice. You got a picture sleeve, the lyrics, and the vinyl itself. Polydor, kind of a boring record, but everything else about it's really good. I do like a fair few songs on this album a lot, but then there's some other stuff that's not so great. Still, it's a Susie album. I don't know if I really want Superstition, I think is my point. I mean, if it's the last one, sure. Or if I happen upon it for like 15 quid, maybe, but... Okay, so that's the 4 studio albums I have. Then I've also got this, Once Upon a Time, the singles. So as far as like actual quality of music goes, this is pretty excellent, you know. You've got Hong Kong Garden, I guess, then Staircase, Playground Trace, then the B-side is really, really, really like mental. Like every song on there is exceptional. This is pretty cheap, and again, second-hand. I mean, I say second-hand, pretty much everything in a record shop is, right? At least the Roxy, which is great. You've got lyrics and pictures. And another warning on the paper sleeve. You've got the vinyl itself. So although this wouldn't be one I would necessarily be seeking out, it was a Susie record and it was there and it was like 15 quid, so I'm a sucker for it. What can I say? That's those ones. Next up, we've got a numero purchase. This is the Tacoma Radar. No One Waved Goodbye, but really it's more like the entire discography because it's a double album. The original LP is in the left-hand side. It's actually not a gatefold, but you get 2 sleeves and an insert. Well, actually the insert's an advert, forgive me, but hell, I mean, there's more stuff I'd want on here. But here is the actual album, No One Waved Goodbye. So Much Water vinyl, I think it was. We've got this deep grey. So this is the original album, and then you've got all this other stuff. You've got, and this is stuff I've never actually heard, but it's basically bonus material. The Tuckahoe EP. And there was also like a live recording that they put. So this is just basically a bonus vinyl. And the whole, for a double album, I think it was like 20 something. Which I would pay for just the, well, realistically I did pay for just the original album itself. I'm not sure if this was ever on vinyl before Numero got it. Put this the other way around maybe. I will get there eventually. Right. It did say on their sleeve what the live performance was called, but I just know it's some sort of live performance. But yeah, I really do like the original album. Sort of a twee slowcore thing, I guess. Very nice. Next up, one of the best, oh no, there's a hair in it. One of the best albums made, Laughing Stock by Talk. This was online. I don't remember where I got this from. Is it Norman Records or something? I think it's a reissue. 2015. But hey, as far as like actually listening to good music on records, I mean, this is what you want. Comes with a lyric sleeve with illegible handwritten lyrics by Mark Hollis, and the album itself, simple and straight to the point. But I imagine an album like this is why you get a record player. Phenomenal album. For me, I prefer like the songs that people often don't talk about as much, like Taphead and Rune, Merman, and I like all 6 of the songs, but for me it's like New Grass has always been my least favourite. I don't know why. A lot of people's favourite. But I mean, least favourite is a relative term, right? Every single song's very good. Next up, we've got one I got from York again, Rubicon by Tangerine Dream. This actually wasn't on my list to get, but it looks like it's in pretty good condition, and I don't think this is a reissue. Like, look how glossy that is. It's kind of mad. But then, like, it's a gatefold, and then you see it's like pretty peeling in the middle. But hey, good enough for me. I mean, when you get this, it's like, yeah, this is old, right? But for some reason, the sleeve itself seems to be in very, very good condition. So it's just one song split into 2 parts. I don't think it was my favourite thing I'd heard. My favourite Tangerine Dream album is Stratosphere. I mean, I think I have like over 100 albums or something, but hey. Ugh, not another one of these. But yeah, this was, I think, like 20 quid. Seems okay to me. Right, we've got 3 Van Halen albums. So, I think all 3 were from the Roxy, if I'm recall correctly. First one, Women and Children First. So this one, to my horror, has an insert. Now this insert is not a normal insert. I won't even be able to fit this on the screen, but it is a humongous poster of David Lee Roth. Now, I don't know that I really wanted that, but I've got it no matter. It'll be staying in the sleeve. I wonder who Van Halen's target audience were. Anyway, it actually has the music itself, which is what I bought it for. I think it's like not a reissue or anything. None of these Van Halen ones are. I don't know if they even, when or if they've reissued them on vinyl. But here it is. Good album. I think it's got some really good songs in it. Romeo Delight in a simple rhyme. You know, I don't think there's really a weak song on the album, other than the really short interludes, but more parts of other songs. Or is that just Tora Tora? Yeah. Also, this is just nonsensical. Not the track listing order. So, in fact, that's the case with Diver Down too, right? They just seem to be in a random order. I don't know why. But here's Diver Down again, second hand. Don't think it was very expensive. It's the worst of the first 6 Van Halen albums, but it's still got some good songs on, you know. It's got little guitars. However, all the good times gone. Yeah, I mean, some of them are not excellent, but I think it's a good enough album. Picture sleeve, no ridiculous posters this time. There you go. So I've got half of the Van Halen albums I would want to get. Don't think I'm that bothered about getting Van Halen 3. Don't know if that was ever on vinyl. Last one is 1984. Just upside down. Probably because the back is upside down. It's one of these. I'll do this. 1984 again. Got some underrated cuts on here, I gotta say. You got like Girl Gone Bad, or whatever it is. House of Pain. I'll Wait, I'm not a big fan of. But, you know, there's obviously hits on here. Top Jimmy. It's just some of Eddie's wildest guitar work, as mad as that is to say, on 1984. I enjoy all 6 of the first Van Halen albums. Funnily enough, I think I've got my least favourite 3. No, not necessarily. I don't know. I like them all. But my favourite's Fair Warning. Okay, Wire. I bought this from pinkflag.com or whatever, so from Wire themselves. 154. Another one of my absolute favourite albums. Just, where's the flaw? You can't point me to it. And here it is, so I don't know if you call it a picture sleeve, but lyric sleeve. Funnily enough, I think for some reason some of the lyrics for 2 people in a room, they're just not printed, the last verse. I always found that a bit interesting. But here it is, 154. Essential for my collection anyway, because it's one of my absolute favourite albums. I've seen Pink Flag in record shops. I don't know if I've seen Chairs Missing in record shops, maybe. I definitely want to get those 2. Here it is, Close to the Edge. I see a lot of these, but this one was like a tenner or something, maybe even less. Again, you get it because the quality of the music is phenomenal. And this is a gatefold. Why does this always happen? Really cheap gatefolds. I guess because they just made a lot of them. Title track, one of the best prog songs there is for me. What is it? I Get Up, I Get Down. Unbelievably good. You know, looks old. If it plays though, the enjoyment you get out of that. I think this is the only Yes album I have on my to collect list. Which means I've sort of done it, but there's some that I haven't heard that I probably would want. I've never heard Fragile in full, you know, or the Yes album. So. Or Relay. All right, the last 2 I've got. We've got one that I was looking for on CD forever. Was Studio Tan. I would always, well, to be fair, I only really went to HMV, so I didn't really know anything. But I was always looking to get this, like an official copy of this, and now I saw it on vinyl in Liverpool. That one, by the way, Close to the Edge, I got that from Scarborough. Liverpool, I was almost ready to just buy what I'd picked up already, and I saw this, I was like, wow, finally. But also, like, what the hell? Where's this come from? Where's Studio Tan in there? I couldn't seem to find it anywhere in the UK. And there it was, so bought it, 30 quid. I don't know why, because it's not like it's my favourite Zappa album or anything, but this is very interesting. There's a plastic sleeve it comes in. Did it always come in a plastic sleeve? Yeah, it must have. But yeah, nothing else to it, just Studio Tan. It's got Reduns on it, which is one of my favourite Zappa ones, but I did always want this. And then finally, Sleep Dirt. A better album, but I see a fair few of these. I don't know how rare the Zappa stuff is, probably not that rare. Sleep Dirt and mostly instrumental, got Ocean is the Ultimate Solution on it. And the record looks exactly the same as Studio Tan. This stuff was never reissued on vinyl, so I'm guessing this is from when it came out, 1978 or whatever. 1979. So yeah, the Zappa albums, packaging wise, pretty uninteresting, but I like having them. I've got a lot of Zappa stuff on CD. But I don't necessarily want that many on vinyl. But anyway, that's everything I've got. I'm not going to go through my CD collection because I don't want to, and it would take forever. Wouldn't have expected anyone to watch this, but I've now catalogued it, so from now on these will be a hell of a lot shorter because I'll just be going through what I've collected in any one session. So that's that. All right, goodbye.